Sports TV, man. That's my dude. I rolls with him.
You heard what the man said. It's Flight Sports TV.
Flight Sports TV, that's where it's at.
Flight Sports TV.
What's going on, people? It's Flight Sports TV. I appreciate y'all for checking with me. I already know what it is. We back with another one of them things. Listen, we got to get into Tyrese Halliburton. That was just completely spectacular. We got to pay the utmost homage. I just didn't see that coming. The Cleveland Cavaliers this is nothing but an epic collapse. I mean, the whole entire team is broke down, hurt. It's impeccable what's going on right now with Indiana. I told some people that basically if Cleveland is playing games, which they are, no Darius Garland, they had nobody tonight, no Mobley. This is how you lose. This is how you get eliminated. And I'm telling you right now, the Cleveland Cavaliers are on the verge of getting swept in the playoffs, man. This is the number one seed. We got to stop acting like these guys wasn't always a question mark in the first place. Let's stop acting like we didn't have questions. We all did. The Cleveland Cavaliers, even what was it, about 2 years ago, they was pretty good when they got Mitchell. They went up against the New York Knicks and they got destroyed in the first round of the playoffs, and they had the highest seed, if I'm not mistaken. So all of those things, let you know that this team is just not ready for prime time, and we could see it firsthand. The Indiana Pacers are battle tested. Tyrese Halliburton is battle tested. We just gotta call it how we see it. It just is what it is, y'all. Shout out to everybody, man. This is the NBA playoffs, man. This is just going crazy. Right now, you got the Golden State Warriors. This draft class, this 2020 class, where you got Melo, you got Tyrese, you got Anthony Edwards. This is showing you that this is very electrifying, and it's only the beginning. But Tyrese Halliburton, we got to give him credit. Thunder says, I've been said the Cavs are the 2015 Hawks. What I will say about Tyrese Halliburton is this. They was trying to say he was overrated and things like that. I think that's completely disgusting to say Tyrese Halliburton is overrated. That's not right. Shout out to Nate Shepard. He said that ripped the heart out of the cat. Oh, it's over. Bring the broomsticks out. This is over. He says how you score 48 and lose. This was disgusting what took place tonight. But the Indiana Pacers capitalized. You already know in the playoffs, Indiana turns it up. They showed it firsthand. They beat the Knicks. This team could very well, and let's say I don't think they could beat the Celtics styles, make fights. We automatically could just move on and say they're going to the Eastern Conference Finals. Cleveland is over, and to be honest with you, they down because of the injuries. That's really what all of this is coming up to. The injuries is just. There was no way to come back. Tyrese Halliburton tonight with 19 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists, with a block. This guy was just spectacular tonight. When you go to Cleveland, like you said, Donovan Mitchell, he did everything in his power to be successful. Slimkin Hoop says the Pacers have definitely put some nice players around Halliburton. Well, it wasn't nice enough. I mean, pardon me, Cleveland wasn't nice enough. They got to put some better pieces around them. Because you see it seemed like they just not ready for prime time. These guys And Mitchell, like I said, he's on. Listen, this guy right here is question marks all over Donovan Mitchell now. I understand he had 48 points, but you let Tyrese Halliburton roll up in your building back against the wall. I don't give a damn what the hell. They should have never got to an opportunity to get you like that. You didn't have a timeout. Kenny Atkinson, he gonna have to go back to the drawing board and see what the hell went on here, because Cleveland was out of timeouts. And you see, Indy, they had one. Carlisle was holding on to one. So I was monitoring all of this. So Rick Carlisle was running circles around this dude, and Kenny Atkinson is probably gonna win Coach of the Year, even though they need to give it to Bickerstaff, the one who they fired. Bickerstaff actually deserves the Coach of the Year. But it's disgusting that he's not the Coach of the Year. But it is what it is at the end of the day. It's flight sport. There's a lot of things going on, man, in this landscape at the NBA playoffs. You know, um, it's big business, point blank, period. But shout out to Tyrese Halliburton tonight. I got my man All Access with me. Dex, what's the deal? We got breaking news. You see Tyrese Halliburton, a big time game winner. He done shocked the world and shook up the whole basketball universe. What the hell is going on? We got more action later on tonight. What's the deal? It's Flight Sports.
Yes, sir. Salute to Flight Sports TV, the machine, the voice of the voiceless, the people's champ, the hottest shit in these streets. Um, Shout out to the panel, shout out to the chat, and shout out to everybody pulling up the Flight Sports TV. And I just want to humbly remind you to please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that notification bell so you won't miss one iota of an exuberant experience. Flight, once again, thank you in the most humblest of spirits to invite me onto your platform and integrating me into the stream. Um, Flight, that was elaborate. I mean, what more can I say? I mean, if I had one word to describe what Ty Ty done tonight, it was shocking and elaborate at the same time. And we talked about this, Flight, and when Cleveland was just tore it through the NBA schedule and was just ripping everybody to pieces. We talked about, do we trust Cleveland? Could Cleveland be sustainable with this kind of energy exerted for past 82 games? And so far, they did go 86 games, pretty unblemished, but now they reached the 87th and 88th game of the season, and it seemed like their legs are giving out and they look worn. Not to take anything away from Tyrese Halliburton. I mean, my gosh, Flight, Um, I mean, listen, we cannot detract from the elephant in the room, and that is LaMelo Ball. I know Ty Ty has done sensational this season, and most people thought he fell off, but maybe he was just getting his stamina back after playing the season, the extended season, and the Olympics. So just as Jason Tatum and Tyrese Halliburton kind of had a slow start to the season, look at Tyrese Halliburton now. I mean, he just basically is the king of Naptown. I mean, Mike Epps might have to move to the side and let Ty Ty take over. So this is shocking, Flight. In the most elaborate way that we can explain, this is very shocking to the NBA pundits.
Yeah, man, this is just completely ridiculous. I just got to call it how I see it, man. But like you said, you talked about the elephant in the room, which is LaMelo Ball. I'm trying to figure out where you're going with this. Because obviously LaMelo Ball, he deserves to be in the postseason. He doesn't have whatever this, that, and the third. We tired of talking about it at this point. But what's this elephant in the room? Because LaMelo is at home and these guys are in the second round advancing and moving up. What the hell is going on with Melo?
Well, the elephant in the room, Flight, is that just as you described, the unforsaken aesthetics of the hardwood, that there is no LaMelo Ball in the postseason. There's no Lonzo Ball in the postseason. There's no Ball brothers, period, in the postseason. And to me, that is disgusting. Um, Tyrese Halliburton has elevated his postseason play. And that's what matters, because the NBA regular season, you get a lot of zeal and zest from players that's trying to come on a comeback. But you have a player like Tyrese Halliburton with the accolades that he have, multi All-Star, one of the top guards in the league, Olympic gold medalist, and he's still a very young man. So that draft, remember, I spoke about the prolificness of that draft, and that draft is the most lucrative and the most profitable draft of all time. Look at the numbers in that draft. They had over 14 players to be extended. That has never been happened before in one draft class. At 14 players to be extended. And we know the tip of the iceberg in that draft is Anthony Edwards. We all love LaMelo Ball, but we know Anthony Edwards is above LaMelo Ball as we speak.
Unfortunately, we might have to pay the utmost homage, Dex. But keep going.
Some may argue now. Some may argue. Yeah. Some may argue, right? Yeah. Because they still have LaMelo Ball handles, right? But if we call an ace and a spade, Anthony Edwards have shown that he is the utmost number one draft resource of the 2020 draft class. Look what Anthony Edwards have done, right? Look what Tyrese Halliburton has done. Both of these two players, one drafted before LaMelo, one drafted after LaMelo, have reached their respective conference finals. And it looks like Anthony Edwards could get back to the conference finals. And it looks like Tyrese Halliburton is 2 games away to getting back to the conference finals. And not only that, Flight, Tyrese Halliburton is stumping a mud hole in the second best team in the NBA and the best team in the Eastern Conference. Who thought of this? He is whipping the coach of the year in Kenny Atkinson. That's well deserved, well earned for what he have turned around the Cleveland Cavaliers. Even though we know the Cleveland Cavaliers was on the cusp of being a better team each year, but we didn't think they was going to be this good this soon for this long. So for the season was sustainable, and Tyrese Halliburton is wiping all of the good tracks that the Cleveland Cavaliers have laid down on the NBA landscape in 2 games into the playoffs. Cleveland Cavaliers have showed there was a behemoth in the regular season, and then swept through the first round of their matchup, and now they're facing Tyrese Halliburton in a group of Naptown representatives that's really hungry and is on the fetch of being 50% of the Eastern Conference representative in the Eastern Conference finals. And that is really fantastic. And like I say, that dagger, do you know what it takes for a player to do that?
It was filthy.
To get the rebound, to dribble out, keep his composure, get his shot, get his form, have his foundation set, as Craig Hodges would say, and then launch. Cold-blooded. He was more cold-blooded than Rick James. And hit it. And not only did his teammates go wild for him, which is a good sign, but he deflated the silo of the Mortgage Fieldhouse Arena. Like,
no, he definitely did. I want to point out, like you was just talking about Kenny Atkinson. I mean, I always had question marks about him. I want to talk about Rick Carlisle. We got to pay homage about Rick Carlisle. This guy's running complete circles around this guy, Kenny Atkinson. I mean, he don't know what to do. What I do want to say about Cleveland is they are dealing with some injuries. I don't know if we pointed that out. All the guys were damn near out tonight. Starters too. Garland ain't play yet. So they finished. You know, they down 0-2. There's no way in Indiana that home court advantage is going to be something else. You know, and Tyrese Halliburton also. Um, they talk about he's overrated. I don't know if it was a poll that went out earlier in the season, and all of the NBA players voted Tyrese Halliburton the most overrated player in the NBA. I think that's completely disgusting, and he's continuing to show. I mean, this 2020 draft class is something special. We'll get to Melo when he get his opportunity to do what these guys are doing. But this draft class is something special, and I'm telling you, the face of the league is floating around this 2020 draft class. It just I don't think one has yet emerged just yet. You know, you got Melo hasn't made it to the postseason, and these two guys going neck and neck right now. We could talk all Edwards, Edwards. Tyrese might fool around and make it to the finals before him. You never know what the hell might happen. You know, but well, talk to us, Dax. What you think about what I said?
See, this is a gift and a curse because the Melo fan base is so expansive that it supersedes the logo, and sometimes that don't work to your best interest when it comes to the hardcore basketball fan. LaMelo is out here doing a whole lot of stuff, especially with his LaFrance brand. I mean, it just taken off into a stratosphere of financial gain. And thanks to him and his wherewithal of using his publicity and fame to push his brand with minimal advertising. let's put that out there with minimal advertising. So the logo don't find that bonding that you can promote yourself outside of the NBA brand and don't need it to pump up your brand and your side venture. Now, it's disgusting that he's down in Charlotte where Charlotte's not trying to win. You know what I'm saying? So when you look at the Anthony Edwards, when you look at the Desmond Baines, when you look at the Obi Toppins, when you look at the what's that cat name? The Tyrese Halliburton. And when you look at all of these high profile names that was in that 2020 draft, and even more, right? I think and even more. Even I think Stewart was in that draft. And he was in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? So if Charlotte's not trying to win and LaMelo is cool with it, I'm kind of looking at LaMelo with a side eye. Because this is something that I know his dad didn't instill in him, to be comfortable and content with being subpar. And I'm being nice when I say subpar, because we know it's a mess down there. You know what I'm saying? And so when he looks up, if he's watching the NBA right now, which I doubt he is, if he's watching the NBA, he's looking up and seeing Ant-Man take down the Lakers. I mean, come on, Flight. That wasn't an easy task.
Don't get no better than that.
Listen, the NBA pride themselves, Lakers, Celtics, Knicks, right? And if you can remove one of those teams, that means you have beat the machine. And Anthony Edwards has beaten the machine. Yes, he has help. Julius Randle showed up. Oh my God, look at Rudy Gobert. Man, was he a man amongst boys in that restricted area? So now you're looking at Tyrese Halliburton. Possibly. It's still early. Now, like I said, their backs against the wall. We're going to see how Kenny Atkinson, is he really going to be that coach? Is he really going to be that point guard whisperer that we know he can be and tie this series up somehow, some way? Because it's getting very ugly very quick. And we're watching Tyrese Halliburton being 50% away from representing the Eastern Conference in the second year, back to back. That's not easy getting back. And he's right there on the cusp of being back-to-back representation of 50% of the Eastern Conference Finals. And our boy LaMelo is nowhere to be found. You might as well put LaMelo with James Wiseman right now. Both of them in the abyss of the NBA basketball mind.
LaMelo, but I can't go that far as Wiseman.
I'm talking about present, not game, not the game. I'm talking about his presence. Where's James Wiseman? At home, right?
You got a point there.
Where's LaMelo Ball? At home, right? That's what I mean. Not the game. We know LaMelo got a superstar game. His game speaks for itself. But I'm talking about his presence. This what we want, Flight. And
But
so when we look at, we see Obi Toppin, you know what I'm saying? We're seeing all these players in the 2020 draft class being represented in the 2025 NBA extended season. And our boys nowhere to be found.
but what I will say about Tyrese and Obi is just like he's a role player. He's playing his role, 7 points. But if you look at this team, LaMelo don't have this. They don't have a Naismith. Putting up 23, defending like his life on the line. You don't got a Turner. Williams ain't playing like this. Turner is going off. You got Nemhard. These guys are playing, defending like everything on the line. Nemhard had 13 and 13. I mean, that's just crazy.
Okay,
Then you
Flight.
got Matherin coming off the bench putting up 19. I mean,
I'm gonna
what's
have to
that?
refute that now
Yeah.
because I don't know if it's an oversight on your part, but LaMelo do have someone that can put up 20 points.
He was injured. I'm not sure if Dex having some technical difficulties, but what it seemed like what Dex was saying was they do have
Oh,
somebody who could.
yeah, yeah.
He
LaMelo do
putting
have
up.
somebody that can come off the bench and score 13 points. And that's Nick Smith Jr. if B, or even Trey Mann when he's healthy. So LaMelo do have some firepower, but he doesn't have enough. We know that. They're very malnourished when it comes to talent, and that is not LaMelo's fault. But if the organization believe in LaMelo, like Minnesota believe in Ant-Man, and like Indianapolis believe in Tyrese Halliburton, then they would give him some help. Where cometh thy help? Where is the armory? You follow what I'm saying? Where is the armada? Where is the fleet? I mean, come on. The ship is drowning. What kind of navy is being represented in Charlotte, right? So there's players there that possibly can assist him, but it's not enough girth, it's not enough beef, and it's not enough meanness because it's too many light skins on the Charlotte Hornets that's getting prolific play. And that in itself is a bargain for disaster. You follow what I'm saying? You got to have some greedy dark skins. Listen, I'm not trying to be show colorism, but this is the nature of the game. Red Auerbach was one of the smartest white men on the planet Earth when he saw that he needed to start 5 black players. You follow what I'm saying? He was the first one to start 5 black players. He was like, fuck that. I know this is Boston. Y'all ain't finna get me smothered. I'm finna put these Negroes out here and we finna win championships after championships after championship. And we'll throw some Bob Cousy in there. We'll throw some what's the other guy named Henrich. We'll throw some of these guys in there. You know what I'm saying? But where cometh thy help? So when you see the Anthony Edwards taking down the mighty Lakers, now listen, LeBron had an awesome season, right? Luka was just getting warmed, and Anthony Edwards said, not on my watch. Darius Garland was trying to turn the corner, and look at Spider-Man, finally on a team that really appreciate who and what he is, and he's playing in the city that have won a championship. So there's expectation on Spider-Man. And look what happened. Tyrese Halliburton said, not on my watch. So far, so good. But like I said, there's still games remaining in the season, and you got to win 4 out of 7 to advance. And that hasn't been done yet in this Cleveland series. So when you look at the overall landscape of with the Charlotte Hornets compared with the NBA right now, they fall under heavy scrutiny, and they crack under inspection. They do not pass inspection, Flight. So if the Charlotte Hornets was to go to the doctor and get a physical, they wouldn't pass the physical in their current state.
Yeah, I mean that's what it looks like in my humble opinion. We're gonna find out. We got another season next year. Unfortunately, they're gonna hold on to some of these guys and coaches, and we're gonna see how long they're gonna hold on to LaMelo. But one thing's for sure, two things for certain. These guys are advancing. It just is what it is. What do you see the chances of Edwards and them making it to the next round? Can they beat the Golden State Warriors? What do you think?
Listen, that's going to be a really nice game because just as the Lakers, the Golden State Warriors have the same structure. They're very malnourished in the restricted area. Now they have firepower on the perimeter, maybe more so than the Lakers, but at the same time, the game is won in the trenches, right? You can't finesse your way to the NBA finals this season. You got to get into the trenches and make something happen. Out on the arc, I don't know if the game could be won in this NBA with these youngsters moving around and the length of the Minnesota Timberwolves flight. I didn't know the Minnesota Timberwolves damn near average 6 feet 9 inches. That's what the team averaged. They remind me of that Syracuse team that Carmelo Anthony was on when he won the championship in his one and done year. That was the tallest team in the tournament that year. And that's why they swept through the NCAA tournament the way they did. And LaMelo and Carmelo Anthony, became the legend that he is today. So when you have a team that is swift, that is quick, that is nimble, and that is athletic and has length, that team is going to be very, very difficult to beat. And Golden State don't have that. They have some finesse and some athleticism to some degree, but not to the degree of the Minnesota Timberwolves. I was shocked. I was appalled. And the Minnesota Timberwolves made me believers. I could not believe that Coach Finch outcoached J.J. Redick with the roster that he had coming in as a sixth seed. This was unbelievable to me. I thought JJ Redick had this in the bag. I thought LeBron and Luka had this in the bag. Luka has always been an Ant-Man killer, but somehow, some way, Ant-Man showed a full of resilience, and he ended up trouncing the Lakers out of the playoffs in grand fashion. It wasn't even competitive. It wasn't even close. Yes, the Lakers was in some tight games, but in the end, the Lakers weighing out. They talked about Luka's health. They talked about LeBron's age, but the youth won in this here matchup with the veterans. So we're going to see if that continues against Golden State, which I think the Timberwolves should be favored coming into that matchup. But of course, Vegas is going to have the Golden State Warriors favorite based on Curry, Draymond, and Jimmy Bucket.
Yeah. Speaking of Jimmy buckets, I was speaking to somebody earlier. I think Jimmy gonna finally meet his match. I don't think he's gonna be able to do all that bullying that he usually likes to do. What do you think about that? Because Edwards, I think he won all the smoke. Don't you think?
Well, listen, you see all those darkies on Minnesota?
Yeah, yeah.
The only light-skinned boy is the Frenchman. And sometimes he's goofy, and sometimes he can be dominant. So with the Golden State Warriors, I think he has a grand opportunity to be dominant. So Wemby is not a part of this here extended season, but there's another Frenchman that's over 7 feet, and his name is Rudy Gobert, and he's a multi-defensive player of the year, and he's a multi-NBA first-team defender. So when you have that, and you have the Nas Reeds, and you have the Anthony Edwards, and you have the Jaden McDaniels, man, look at Jaden McDaniels. Have he exceeded expectation? I mean, they thought his brother was going to be the one. But no, his brother's nowhere to be found. And look at him. This dude is extraordinary. And he's not afraid. That's what's make this so scary, Flight. Jaden McDaniel is not afraid of the big moment. He's getting in there. Listen, the bright lights of LA only made him more fierce. He didn't cower down. He didn't wane into the shadows. No, he stood up strong, and he stood on business, and he made the Lakers look very feeble, Flight.
Yeah, he definitely did. I was surprised. JJ Redick, I think, got exposed. I just think they didn't come to play. I think Luca, his out of shape situation came out. I just thought that y'all need, and y'all miss Mark Williams. That's what was really lacking. Mark Williams. Y'all blew that one.
Yeah, it was
Anytime
a
I'd
case of
expose
buyer's
y'all.
remorse. It was a case of buyer's remorse. And let me tell you what else that the murmurs were about Mark Williams. That he didn't have it here. He, listen, you go down the line of Lakers centers, even to the point of Andrew Bynum. Andrew Bynum was overly cocky, but Andrew Bynum had it here though. He was a youngster that had it here. He wasn't afraid of the moment. He used to tell Kobe, "Pass me the fucking ball, man. You ain't the only player on the team." And Kobe used to look at this kid like, "What? You kind of remind me of me when I was in the situation where I wanted Rick Fox and Brian Shaw and Shaq to pass me the ball and Eddie Jones them, and they looking at me like, man, you a kid." So Andrew Bynum did have it here, and he showed up when it was time for him to show up when he was healthy. So Mark Williams, they felt that he didn't have it there. They felt that Mark Williams could dominate a finesse game, but when it comes to playing big boy basketball, he didn't fit the molds of Laker iconic centers, and that was something that Rob Pelinka enhanced his buyer's remorse. You follow what I'm saying? Like, man, he don't really have it like that, and we might have gave up a lot too much, and we don't want to be in a situation where we got a center, but he don't have the heart of a Laker.
Yeah, you're right about that. It's only time gonna tell. If all of that was successful on the Lakers' part, they got to retool. They got to figure out what they're gonna do with those pieces. They was able to retain those picks and all that good stuff. So it all worked out for y'all. So let's see what happens. It's all gonna be about who y'all gonna get. Are y'all gonna be able to steal somebody? Can y'all get Jalen Duran? I heard his name floating around. I mean, I don't think they were ready to give him up. That'd be a heist, if y'all fool around and get something like that. But well, we will see. I do want to talk about this game right now with Golden State and Minnesota. I did. I do got a friendly bet out there running around on the Golden State Warriors. I put in the Warriors tonight. There was too many people rolling with Minnesota. Something was telling me the Warriors was gonna win, and right now they up. It's 36-22 with 6:20 to go. Let's see what happens. Also, this could be very reminiscent of what occurred when they went up against Dallas. I think Dex touched on that not too long ago. We got Edwards right now with the ball. I got McDaniels. He dumped it out to Julius. I got my man Edwards. He shot a three and he missed it. Here comes Pods. Here comes the Golden State Warriors coming down, moving with pace and confidence. You know, they got a nice collection of young talent that they've accumulated throughout the years. We got Pods with a free throw line jumper. He couldn't convert. Rudy Gobert gets the rebound. Here comes Julius Randle. Julius has been playing very well in the playoffs after being very horrendous in New York City. I think it was always good to have a change of scenery. And we're seeing that firsthand right now with Julius Randle. Um, it's 36-22. What you think about Julius this postseason?
Um, I can
'Cause he
say that
killed y'all.
Julius. I can say that Julius is holding his own. He's not doing anything spectacular, but he's definitely not a liability. So that's the only thing that you can ask for right now is that because we know that Julius is kind of limited on his talent, right? Because he's a slot machine. He's one arm bandit, and he has made a career going left. For some reason, people just afraid to take that left from him unless he's just too strong going in that direction. It could be a bulldozer, but nevertheless, he definitely has been an asset, and that's all Anthony Edwards needs. All he needs is a few assets to get him over the hump.
That's it. You know, um, shout out to the Minnesota Timberwolves. They right in and they're only down 12. It's 36-24 with 5:37 to go. We got a break in the action. Golden State is calling the timeout. Um, a lot of talk's been going on with Rudy Gobert and Draymond. What you think about that dynamic in the postseason? Because they chalking it up as like this is their nemesis or some shit like that. I don't know what the hell they talking about.
Well, definitely Rudy Gobert is afraid of Draymond Green. Rudy Gobert feels Draymond Green is a psychopath. And when you have a Frenchman, as the old saying go, in war, somehow he's going to try to make love. And Rudy Gobert probably going to try to extend a peaceful overture. And Draymond Green is going to bite the leaf because Draymond Green is an animal. He is a psychopath. He's a maniac, and he thrives on fear.
Yeah, you're right about that. Shout out to Draymond Green, the vet. Slim Cahoop says, y'all remember when Draymond choked Rudy? So yeah, all that was going on. Draymond at this point, to me, I look at him as almost like an enforcer, out there. Draymond, obviously, he's not right, believe it or not. This guy got 14 points. Usually he doesn't play this well offensively. That's not something that you normally, would get, with Draymond Green. It just is what it is. Shout out to all y'all in the chat. Um, Thunder says, Draymond is a crash out. I just don't know about that. It's crazy. Salute to everybody in the chat. We're in the midst of a commercial break. The Golden State Warriors, they trying to hang in there. Let's see what happens. I like Minnesota this year. I think Minnesota is a good team. But it's something about Julius Randle. It's just something about Julius Randle to me that's just not sitting well. I just don't believe in Julius. I'm not a massive fan. I'm sorry. It's just something about Julius I don't trust. I think when you need him the most, that's when he's gonna fail you. Trust and believe. When you need Julius the most, he will fail you. Salute to all y'all in the chat. Don't want y'all to be watching the game here. They already know what it is. It's Flight Sports, man. We got ourselves one crazy game. We're still in the midst of this commercial break. Cleveland, man, they blew it. It's 36-24 with 5:37 to go in the second quarter. Golden State showing, their veteran, situation. Look at Draymond, even at this, advanced age. He's still all messed up. The score right now is 36-24. It's 5:37 to go in the second quarter. Let's see what happens here in this game. Here we go. We got Kevon Looney with it. They kick it out to my man Jimmy. Jimmy out there with it. Jimmy you got Edwards on Jimmy, and he forced the turnover. Here comes Dante DiVincenzo. Anthony Edwards, he kicks out to Dante. Dante operating in the mid-range. He's shaking and baking. Here come Dante DiVincenzo with a floater, and he scored. He missed it. It was in and out. So Golden State still in firm control of this game. We still don't know how it's going to shake out, but it's 5:10 to go in the second. Postseason play continues. You already know what it is. Here we go. Here comes Rudy Gobert. They kick it out to McDaniels, back to Dante. Dante just hunting them threes. Julius Randle on Kevon Looney, putting the moves on, and he missed it. So you got to watch Julius with all this turnaround and fading. I think this way you might see Julius fade, because the Warriors, they're going to bring that intensity. You can't have Draymond out there just outworking every goddamn body. Julius got 6 points. Gobert got 6. Draymond Green got 4 points, 5 5 rebounds. This guy Julius. Pardon me. Draymond is just controlling the paint. This guy's just how he playing better than Gobert and Julius Randle. That's just crazy. They got no shot if Draymond is playing like this. None. Here we go. Kevon Looney is looking for Buddy Hield. Buddy Hield has it. Picked up by DiVincenzo. That look like that's Kuminga. They got Kuminga out there? He was in the doghouse. There's a 24-second shot clock violation. Slimkin who says no points in the first half is crazy. Flight has Knicks PTSD. That's why he don't trust Julius. Yeah, the Knicks, shout out to the Knicks too, man. They did win, but it seemed like nobody believes the Knicks is actually gonna win the series. As a Knicks fan, we've been here before. They gotta beat the Celtics for us to believe. But here we go. Edwards kick it out to DiVincenzo. Back to Julius. Back to Edwards. Back to Julius. Julius just lost the ball. He turned it over. He doing Julius shit again. Here goes Kuminga. And he lost the ball. We got Julius Randle doing Julius Randle shit. It don't get no better than this. It's a mess. Here we go. Minnesota, they scored. McDaniels just put it in. Pause. It's 36-26. 3:50 to go in the second. Pods has it. Picked up by McDaniels. He's surveying the landscape. They just turned it over. Golden State just turned it over. They're making stupid mistakes. McDaniels has it. Can they cut it to single digits? Minnesota looking to cut it to single digits, and they can't do it. Edwards missed the layup over serious defensive pressure. Here goes Buddy Hield to Kevon Looney all the way to the cup, and Kevon Looney scores it. It's 38-26. 3:10 to go in the second. We got a lot of mistakes happening here. A lot of clumsy basketball. Minnesota definitely showing their age. If Porzingis sick or hurt, Knicks have a chance. I agree. I agree with that. 38-26. So what's going on with Curry? Is Curry out there? So Curry might not be playing. Curry had that situation with his thumb. I'm not sure if something happened. Anything? Y'all let me know. But I don't see him out there on the floor. I don't think I ever seen him on the bench. Dante DiVincenzo bringing it up. Picked up by Pods. Let's see what they can do with it. And we got Julius. He scores it. So it's a 10-point game, and they call it timeout. So I don't see Steph Curry unless that's him tying the shoe. I don't believe I see Steph Curry out there. So I don't know what's going on with Steph. That's not a good look if he's not available. They're going to be in trouble without Steph Curry. We got a timeout.
Steph Curry logged 13 minutes.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying this. I'm talking about, is he going to be back in for the rest of the game? I don't see him on the floor or the bench.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so let me think. Like, he might not be available.
Yeah, he got 13 points. He's the second lead scorer for Golden State. Surprisingly, Draymond Green leading.
That's crazy. If Minnesota lose this game and Curry don't play, the series is definitely over.
I wouldn't necessarily say that. You got to remember, Flight. The Golden State Warriors played Houston, right?
Right.
And Minnesota played the Lakers.
Right.
So I think it took more out of Minnesota to beat the Lakers in 5 than it did Golden State to beat Houston in 7. Because of the atmosphere. You can go, what's that in Houston? The Toyota Center? You know what I'm saying? I don't think that I know the Toyota Center was rocking, but I don't think it was rocking to the degree of crypto.com. You feel me?
I agree with
So
that.
the energy that was exerted to win that game 7 would have been more difficult if that game 7 had to be won in crypto with the Minnesota Timberwolves because of the nature of the energy that would be present, and it would have been explosive. You know, that kind of energy rocking you and reverberating through your body can turn your legs to noodles. This is why it was such a undaunting feat for the Minnesota Timberwolves to trounce the Lakers in the fashion that they did.
Yeah, you're right about that. Look like Nas Reed coming up limping over here. It's 38-28, 150 to go in the second. Golden State just missed it. Jimmy has it. Kick it out to Kaminga. Back to Draymond. Draymond just did they count that? Yeah, they did. Draymond just banged it. It's 40-28. Draymond is cooking.
Yeah, the Golden State Warriors is taking off. Minnesota just it looks like they just don't got it right now. You know, I think they got to come down off that high. When the Minnesota Timberwolves beat the Los Angeles Lakers in LA, Anthony Edwards did a victory lap. You know,
That's right.
you know what I'm saying? So
Oh
I,
man, just broke Steph Curry out the rest of game 1. Warriors star will
wow.
not. Warriors star will not after suffering left hamstring strain. So he didn't strain his hamstring.
Oh my God. And Curry is what, 37? That can linger.
Yeah,
That's not good.
no, it's not. So I mean they're in trouble. So I
And
mean if they had Curry, this definitely would have been a dub.
yeah, Flight, you got to keep in mind also during that Minnesota Timberwolves shellacking of the Los Angeles Lakers, the Lakers was up 3 games in that series. They was up 3 games late.
Yeah.
And Minnesota just resolved with their youthfulness and athleticism to just outrun the condition of the Lakers, because the Lakers lost the war of attrition when it came to closing out the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Yeah, they sure did. It was 42-28. Golden State, they got their foot on their neck still. They're sending a lot of different looks at Edwards. Edwards just drew a foul there. He's going to the line. So they gotta win. I mean, you gotta know. Thank Golden State, man. They defended LeBron. You know, they've defended guys like this before. They've seen players. You know, I'm not comparing Edwards to LeBron, but guys that like to attack the rim and play a style like that. You know, of course they played against KD when it was with OKC. So I don't think this is something that is going to startle Golden State and Anthony Edwards. It's still a long game, though. They got home court advantage. It's 42-29. Here we go. Draymond Green playing point forward, point center. He doing it all right now. If they win this game, oh my God, Draymond out there facilitating, and Buddy Hield should have got the foul right there. That was dirty. Here goes Edwards. Oh man, Edwards putting the moves on. DiVincenzo
Jimmy
going to
Butler
the
got to
front.
wake up.
Yeah,
It's a
DiVincenzo
lot of
just
basketball
scored
to
a
be
floater.
played.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot about Jimmy. Yeah, they're gonna need some help. Jimmy got to be the guy to do it. That's what I'm saying. Draymond doing his part. Draymond doing a lot right now. He dribbling the ball. He doing it all. He playing point guard right now.
Yeah, let's see if Draymond can sustain this though, because
Draymond for
like I
3.
said,
Air ball. But Jimmy caught it.
halftime.
Jimmy caught it with the put up. It was 44-31.
So yeah, they down by 13. So that's not nothing. That's not.
That's
They can overcome
halftime.
that. Yeah, they can overcome that.
Yeah, I mean they right in it. Shout out to Draymond Green. I mean, who the hell seen that coming?
Shout out to Wilt Stumbling 45. Shout
Yeah,
out to the whole chat.
yeah, you already
Shout
know.
out to
That's the
Slim.
whole
Shout out
thing.
to Thunder. The usual.
Salute to the whole chat. Y'all already know what it is. Big time playoff basketball.
Shout out to CO3 and D. I
Yeah,
want to read
man.
this one by CO3 and D real quick. Like he said, Nas Reed may start trying to score too much and focus on offense instead of doing things made him successful in the NBA. So I assume that since Nas Reed had a terrific offensive outset against the Los Angeles Lakers in the first round, that CO3 and D think Nas might be feeling himself offensively. But Coach Finch, he listen, he's not dry ice now. Coach Finch will get into your rectum and get Nas Reed to be what he's supposed to be. You follow what I'm saying? And his offensive output was what needed. Like I said, all Anthony Edwards needed a little assistance, and he was able to take down the Los Angeles Lakers in LA. I mean, he won 2 games in LA. With Doncic, Reeves, and LeBron James fairly healthy until the last game. LeBron James wasn't, and Reed, they said that he had some issues. But nevertheless, if you put that uniform on, hey, you good to go, and everything applies. So, Theo, I think Nas Reed will go back to his regular station foxhole and man up and guard that perimeter as well as the mid area and to some degree the restricted area.
Yeah, to a big degree, man. We're gonna find out. What you think about the New York Knicks? I think that the Knicks had a hell of a game. Were you able to catch that
Oh
one?
my God. Listen, Flight, the little engine who could. I mean,
Brunson.
what more can we say about Jalen Brunson? I mean, when we gonna really give him his full due? Right? I mean, the guy is a nightmare when it comes to getting a bucket when needed. How many times has Jalen Brunson failed you when the ball's in his hand and you need a bucket either to tie or go ahead? Why people don't give him the credit and the notoriety that he deserves? The man is clutch. I believe he's leading the NBA in clutch points.
The Mr. Fourth Quarter.
And yeah, and so we know that most NBA pundits and purists frown on small guards, but he's a small guard with a mighty punch. And his punch packed power. And they love him in New York. I was in New York. Matter of fact, I was over there in Farmingdale. I know you're familiar with that area,
Yes,
right?
of course. Shout out to Farmingdale.
Yeah, yeah.
I think they got. I
I
think
was
they
over
got
there
a. I think
Farmingdale.
they got an
I was
amusement
gonna
park
call
out
you,
there.
Flight. I
I
was like,
think
let
that
me FaceTime Flight, man. Let
yeah,
him
they
know
got
I'm
a.
in. I'm in
They
his.
got an
In
amusement
his
park
hood.
out there called Adventureland. I grew up. We used to go out there to Farmingdale. That's on the other side of
Yeah,
Long Island.
you're
Um,
right. Exactly.
yeah,
Right. So I said, nah, I'm leaving. I think you was at work. So I said, nah, I ain't gonna bother him like that, because it's kind of trivial. But anyway, yeah, man, it's Brunson. It's all about Brunson. You know what I'm saying? And it's all about the little engine who could. And I think the New York Knicks, I know they're a little skittish and skeptical when it comes to overly parading the success of the New York Knicks because of some of the dreadful endings and some of the precipice that has been forwarded to you guys' view. But I think the New York Knicks is really good this year. And I think the New York Knicks with Big Cat and Mikal Bridges that add a special touch to what Bronson can do. And now it seems like Bronson is Mighty Mouse. He was a little engine who could, but now he has turned into Mighty Mouse because he knows he has a real gang for his backing.
yeah, man. I agree with that. I really do. I think that you got Bridges and these guys. They stepping up, but it's just one game. So let's see if they can keep going with this. You know, we got to stop acting like they're not going to lose one in New York. You know, I mean, that's just
I
a
don't.
given.
I mean, listen. All we know right now is that New York came to Beantown, the TD Garden, and stole one, and that's all you want as a coach. Just get one, get a split. If we can get two, that is magnificent. But just get one, and the best one to get is the first one. That's when you catch that team napping. You know what I'm saying? And they went in and took care of business, and that's how you know this is a competitive caliber team, because with that kind of intuition going into Beantown and taking game one, it takes a lot of guts, like, to really tough that one out into overtime and do what you do as the New York Knicks. They didn't fold. They didn't fall on this sword. They fought hard against the champs. Remember now, they're the champs now. Boston is the champs. So beating the champ in their home arena, knowing that this is a ancient old NBA rivalry in the Eastern Conference, New York and Boston, that serves very well for Coach Tom Thibodeau.
Yeah. What do you think about Tibbs, man? They talk about him being on the hot seat. What do you think about that? You think he can be fired by the end of this year?
You better get to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Well, I mean,
Anything left is uncivilized.
no, I mean they're going up against the Celtics. I think they're not favored. No,
Well,
they got everybody. You got the
like,
Celtics as favorite.
let me rattle your bones a little bit. If Tom Thibodeau, Tommy T, and you know how I feel about him, but nevertheless, in all fairness, if Tommy T do not get past the Boston Celtics and face Indiana or the Cleveland Cavaliers in the NBA Finals, which could be the Indiana Pacers, and we know that if New York play Indiana, they will wipe Indiana. Indiana might win 2 games.
Yeah, that's what I'm
You know what
saying.
I'm saying?
The Celtics,
It would be a nightmare. It would be a nightmare
the Knicks
matchup for
healthy
Indiana to
now.
play the
The
New
Knicks
York Knicks.
healthy now. Yeah, the
So Tom
Knicks.
Thibodeau, he sees this. He smells blood in the water, right? So he stole a game. He might try to go for game 2, but if not, he has to make sure he holds down his home court, because that's what they wanted. I'm gonna put it like this: they came, they saw, they conquered. Right? The New York Knicks.
The Knicks
They
can beat
came, they
everybody
saw,
except for
they
Denver.
conquered
They can't beat Denver if
the
they made
first
it to
game.
the finals. But I think they can beat
Well, it
everybody
doesn't
except
matter
Denver.
once they get there. They just got to get there. Once if they New York Knicks get to the finals in 2025, they don't have to get to no more finals to 2035.
No, I can't say that. I can't say Knicks. They
I'm
gotta
telling
win.
you,
They gotta
that's
win
how
it.
it is in New York. Like, you know that. If they can just
No,
brag for 10 years that they beat Boston and possibly Cleveland in the same year, they can brag for 10 years.
The Knicks, they'll beat Golden State. I think they'll beat Golden State.
You know what I'm saying? They just got to get there. That's the whole goal for Knickerbocker basketball, is to get there after what, 40-some years? No, excuse me. It wouldn't have been that long. What was it, 1999? The last time they got there? 2000, right? So that's 25 years. That's a long drought for a team of this prize, of this magnitude, which is the conglomerate media market in the world, the known world. We don't know what's on Saturn. We don't know what's on Uranus. We don't know what's on Neptune. But in the known world, they are the media conglomerate in the known world. Like, so getting there will solve a whole lot of deficit. Winning it would be almighty. If the New York Knicks can win a championship in 2025, it'd be almighty. Because the last time they won a championship was 72, 71, or something like that.
I don't even know.
Yeah, you wasn't born.
It was a long time
I
ago.
was, but you wasn't born. You didn't get a chance to see
Clyde,
Walt Frazier, Dave DeBuscher. You didn't get a chance to see those dudes, right?
Phil.
Even your boy for the coach, Phil Jackson. You know what I'm saying? The hippie of the team that was giving everybody marijuana. with
Oh man.
mushrooms. He was passing out marijuana and mushrooms.
Well, I guess New York was a different time back then, huh?
How the hell you think Willis Reed got back so quickly?
Mm.
He said,
When he
"Man,
was
look,
coming
hit
through the
this,
tunnel.
and you won't feel no pain."
Mm.
That fool came out that tunnel, it just went nuts. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Earl
Mhm.
Monroe. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, it'll be wonders for the city, the state, not the city, the state of New York to win a championship in 2025. But hey, that's a long way off. The Knicks have to win 5 more games just to get into the NBA finals and win 9 games to capture the commissioner's trophy.
Yeah.
So,
You mean the Larry
I mean, you know,
O'Brien?
a lot of wishful thinking, right?
You mean the Larry O'Brien?
A
You
lot
said
of
the
wishful thinking.
Commissioner's Cup. You mean the Larry O'Brien?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Larry. Well, I always call it the commissioner's trophy because Larry O'Brien is, he was like the commissioner to merge the NBA and ABA. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
that's why they give him so much props. But
Right.
really, Commissioner Stern is the one that catapulted the NBA to popularity. Larry O'Brien is just the one that suggested the merge and buy out the ABA and merge it. So that's why I just call it the commissioner trophy. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I'm with you there.
And now you got silver, right?
Curry.
Now you can etch,
What you say?
you can etch silver name in there because look what he's done. He has created the in-season tournament. Look how much money that is bringing to the NBA. You know, that those new revenue making uh events is what etch you in the stone of folklore as a successful organizational leader. So you got Larry O'Brien, you got David Stern, then you got Commissioner Silva. All of them have done spectacular things since their tour of duty as NBA commissioners. So that like you say, Larry O'Brien Trophy. I just call it. I think the actual commissioner trophy is in hockey, but I just call it the commissioner's trophy because all 3 of those individuals in my lifetime have done spectacular things to the NBA to catapult it to the popularity that it is right now, and bringing in such um, revenue, man. It's crazy, right? And then not only that, it's 50-50. It's 50-50 revenue share. You know what I'm saying? 50 for the owners, 50 for the players. That's crazy, right? I don't think no other league does that.
No, they don't.
So listen, the Minnesota, they still within striking distance, man. It's only down 13, and they don't have Steph Curry. So that is a mighty, mighty weapon the Golden State is going to have to fight with for the rest of this game. And they got 24 minutes to see if they can hold up to scrutiny as Minnesota Timberwolves are licking their chops right now, knowing that Steph Curry is unavailable and their offense is predicated on Steph Curry launching. So how are they going to make the adjustment, right? They got 24 minutes to make an adjustment. In basketball, that's not easy to make an adjustment with a prolific scorer like Curry out and someone have to pick up the slack. And so roles going to have to be changed. And they're going to have to be prepared for 24 minutes. Whereas the Minnesota Timberwolves, they ain't got to change nothing. Just keep on going. So that's going to be tough for Golden State. And I think Minnesota going to come back and win this one, Flight.
Yeah, and
If Golden State win this one, I won't be mad. But right now, I'm hedging my bets on Minnesota. I would take Minnesota for the second half. If I had any opportunity to do any kind of waging, I'm taking Minnesota second half.
I don't know. We're gonna find out. It's gonna be tough. Especially if Draymond playing the way he's playing.
He's not going to hold up.
Well, I don't know, man. He got to do something one game. He owe him at
Yeah,
least a
well,
game.
hold on one second, Flight. Will stumbling. Yes, we know that Tibbs got a chip already, right? But he ain't got it in New York. And I think he got his as an assistant. So he said, Will Stumbling said, Dex old ass was there at the fall of the Ming Dynasty. You a fool, Will Stumbling. That's a good one. Yeah, man, I'm ancient. But you know what? I thank Allah much that he gives me the wherewithal, the strength, and the resilience and the health to keep pumping. You know what I'm saying? Because I done seen a lot of things, and I done seen like the changing of the guards when it comes to technology. I was discussing with one of my old partners about phone minutes. You know, I remember where we have to pay for minutes on our phone. You know, it wasn't a rate; it was minutes. You know, and you have to be very cautious on how you use your minutes, very strategic, because that bill will be sky high if you wasn't careful. If you go over your minutes, and you had unlimited talk and text for the weekend. So after 9 p.m. on Friday, everything was basically free until Monday. Monday at 12:01. So a lot of things went down over your cell phone for the weekend. You know, when it went to that kind of mobile data. Prior to that, we was talking on the brick phone, and that bill, even back then, I had my first brick phone in '87. I was paying like $2,700 a month for that phone, plus my pager. So my pager, I was paying I think I was paying like $190 a month for my pager or something like that. Less than $200 for my pager, but about $2,500 for my brick phone. And I used to always try to floss my brick phone when I get it in front of fine women. I pick it up, even if I wasn't using it. I pick it up and act like I was using it, and sometimes I would be using it. And then some girls will call me out like, "You ain't using that phone. That phone not even working." I was like, "Shit." I was like, "Give me a number to call." And that kind of flossing, it costs you a whole lot of money, because those technologies, Flight, as the game has started already, those technologies was for like lawyers, doctors, politicians and things of that nature. It just wasn't for no street dudes. You know what I'm saying? So when Popo see you with a pager or a brick, which was a Motorola phone, oh, you definitely getting pulled over. Your car is definitely getting searched. That's how old I am.
We don't need those kind of problems. But let's see what happens here. It's 47-33. I'm not sure, who will prevail. Golden State, they got to go without Curry. Draymond is playing point guard too, which is crazy. Here we go with it. We got Jimmy picked up by Julius. Jimmy Butler, top of the key 3-ball. That's off. Rebounded by Rudy. Oh, Gary Payton he intercepted it. Man, Warriors had control of the ball. They're gonna call it jump ball, but he had control. That was a steal. That should be Warriors ball. Will Stummer says, my students be calling me old, and I'm like 10, 12 years. That's crazy. Gary Payton and Mike Conley about to jump for it. Draymond, he keep chucking threes. Pods. The Golden State the ball just went out of bounds. 10:50 to go in the third. Here we go. Here goes Jimmy. They kicked it out to Draymond. Draymond and Jimmy. Draymond kicked it to Jimmy, and he scores it. Big time dunk by Jimmy Butler. It's 49-33. Shout out Rap Guy Reloaded. Here goes Julius Randle. Julius Randle kicks it out to Mike Conley. Back to Julius. And Julius posting up. Kick it to McDaniels. To Mike Conley for three. And that's off. Rebounded by Pods. Here he goes. He's going up. You got McDaniels hacking the whole time down. That was crazy. That should be a flagrant. 49-33. He was holding the jersey, everything. And 49-33. 10-16 to go in the third. There we go. We go. We kick it out to Gary Payton. Back to Draymond Green. Oh, three ball. Buddy Hield. That's good. Did they count that? They ain't count it. I think it was an offensive foul. Moving screen.
Salute to Rap God. Salute to you, bro. Flight, this game is being won beyond the distance. The Golden State Warriors is shooting 43% from beyond the arc, and they're 10 of 23. But guess what? Minnesota is 0 for 16. So you think that's going to continue? And they only down by 14 right now, and as we speak, 49-35. So Minnesota hasn't even logged a percentage from the arc because they have yet to make one, and they 0 for 16.
Nope. But McDaniels just scored right there. Big time play from Jaden McDaniels. Here we go. There goes Draymond Green. Draymond Green kicks it to Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler kicks it to Buddy Hield. Buddy Hield for three. It was in and out. Oh, here goes Minnesota. Julius has it picked up by Jimmy Butler. Julius Randle kicks it to Conley. Julius, let Julius do it. I don't trust Julius. That's off. Julius is throwing the weak shit now. Julius getting back to being Julius again. They're in trouble. Buddy Hield for three. Good. That was a good look. The Dubs gonna
20-point deficit, Minnesota.
52-35. Here we go, Minnesota. Mike Conley has it. Mike Conley kicks it out to Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards all the way to the cup, and he missed it. Rebounded by Draymond. Here comes Gary Payton. Gary Payton kicks it out to Buddy Hield for three. Good. Buddy Hield back-to-back threes. Dubs up 20.
So that's 12 made threes to Minnesota, 0 made threes.
So that was a good bet. I was scared to throw something on the Warriors tonight.
You up 20, Flight. You up 20.
It's over. Yeah.
You got about 33 minutes of basketball.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. When I do friendly bets, man, I got to use my intellect. No emotions. Man, I got to go with what I really think is going to happen.
What's a surprising factor in this game,
like next game, the Knicks gonna lose. Trust me. I'm not sipping the Kool-Aid, but go ahead. What you was gonna say?
Okay. Yeah. A surprising statistics is that Minnesota's out rebounding. The Golden State Warriors out rebounding the Minnesota Timberwolves plus 10. And one of the areas of superiority has been offensively. So the Golden State Warriors is getting a lot of second chance to make a first impression against the Minnesota Timberwolves stout height in the restricted area. So it only shows me that it looks like the Minnesota Timberwolves legs are not ready for this one.
Yeah, that's what it's looking like. We're gonna find out if they are. Anthony, what do you think about Anthony Edwards with 1 point? This ain't gonna sit.
Like I said, those legs are not.
No Curry. So now you could just rest Curry in game 2. He don't have to play.
Exactly. And listen, remember what I said about the New York Knicks. You want to win the first game on the road, if possible. That's your ultimate goal, right? And you want to split,
That's
no
right.
doubt. So if you can win that first game, that alleviate a lot of pressure going into the second game. And now you can maneuver a little more smoothly without the anxiety and pressure of having to win the second game if you don't win the first game. And right now, Golden State is on pace to win this game. Both of these teams are taking care of the ball fairly well.
Very well.
They're not loosey goosey with the ball.
Not at all. Rap guy says Ant-Man is tired. Well, we're gonna find out. We don't know that just yet.
Well, I mean, Rap God, take this into consideration. They heard all the noise that Anthony Edwards was making once he eliminated the Lakers. They heard the personal invitation that Anthony Edwards declared, I want to play I want to play the Golden State Warriors. These old heads heard that. And so that was clipboard material for the motivation to come out with this kind of energy. So Ant-Man stirred up the proverbial hornet's nest. In this case, you might can say wasp nest, because there's no hornet available right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy, man. I know. Rap guy says Ant said that about Kyrie last year. And he was talking crazy last year about Kyrie. He was like, "I got Kyrie. I'm guarding him." So he put my work on him. That was it.
He also said the Cavs are fraudulent.
I don't believe in the Cavs.
Shout out to Billion Sports.
Next season we go to.
So the Golden State is keeping a fairly safe distance right now.
That's right.
As we, 3/4 left for the third quarter.
Yeah, Buddy Hield is cooking. Billy Sports says Hornets gonna be the talk of topic next year. Let's get it, Dex. I think the Hornets gonna fool around and get the first pick. There's no
Hell
team,
no.
There's no team in the NBA
Flight,
that
stop.
needs it more than the Charlotte
Flight.
Hornets.
No, Listen,
No,
Cat, I can't let Flight do this. I can't let Flight do
the
this.
NBA gonna finally do it. Gonna do it. I think that the NBA gonna finally throw a dog a bone.
Flight, stop pandering to the people. Stop pandering to the fan base.
I think that's the year.
The Charlotte Hornets would get the 6th pick.
Oh no.
They done with Charlotte, man. The commissioner was down there face to face with Rick Schnall and Gabe Plunkton, right? Sitting inside the Spectrum Center, chatting. And look what he got in return.
How far?
They couldn't win 20 games.
How far is Duke? Duke is in North Carolina, isn't it?
Yeah, that's in Durham.
Oh man, he going to Charlotte.
Yeah, that's in Durham.
Yeah, he going to Charlotte, man. The NBA, they do shit like that, man. Is he from North Carolina?
Nah, that dude going to Utah, man.
Where's he from? Let me look this up.
He's from Maine. He's from Maine. You talking about Cooper Flag?
Yeah.
That dude's from Maine, man.
Oh, okay. I'm about to say, because if
he's a spit away from Canada.
If he from any of them Carolinas, he going to Charlotte. This bucket. The NBA, they do shit like that, but
nah, he's not going to Charlotte, man. That dude is going either to Utah, and it could be some willing and dealing to get him in Dallas. I wouldn't be surprised if Nico Harrison come up with some shenanigans and he end up in Dallas. I wouldn't be surprised.
Dallas,
I'm just saying I wouldn't be surprised. That's a long shot, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, they selling tickets. You got to send him somewhere that the tickets ain't really selling out. With them seasons.
That's what I'm saying. Utah. Utah got the highest percentage of nabbing him.
Utah. That wouldn't be a bad
He's gonna
look.
be on the Mormon mission. Like he's gonna be up there with the Joseph Smiths of the world. Jesus of Latter-day Saints.
Let's hope that the NBA do the right
Oh
thing and take
my
care of
God,
Charlotte.
Cooper. I mean, that's an all-American name. Think about that. Cooper Flag. Who named their kids Cooper Flag? Who in the hell have a last name Flag?
I mean, listen, you come to Charlotte, I think they could compete right away.
Nope, because Charlotte is not an all-American city.
Compete for a playoff spot right away, not for a championship, of course.
Nah. And listen, I'm gonna be very disappointed if LaMelo don't be a little more boisterous about getting some type of assistance. Because listen, my stomach is turning. I ain't gonna lie to you, Flight. It's hard for me to sit up here with a straight face and watch Anthony Edwards do what he do, and watch Tyrese Halliburton do what he do. And I don't have nobody to really cheer for. I respect them. You know what I'm saying? But I don't have nobody I can pump my fist for.
Yeah.
Right? Lonzo, he couldn't even overcome a wrist injury that he occurred early in the season. He came back a little bit, but he couldn't overcome that. That's fragility.
Yeah, that was crazy.
LaMelo, he had two different portions of his body that was severely agonizing him. And he played through it until the Charlotte Hornets was mathematically eliminated. And what's he used to coming back? Right. LaMelo wanted to play it out because it shows signs of leadership. It shows signs of maturity. You know, it shows signs of being able to gut out and display resilience. But if you know you're going to need surgery in the offseason, hey, why not start now? Let the G League play. Let the G League play the season out. So, I mean, you know, my stomach turns, Flight. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. To see the Ball brothers sitting on the couch doing practically what we're doing, seeing LaMelo asking his girl to make him a meal because he's hungry, because he's enabled to do the things that he probably could do if it wasn't for surgery. It hurts my stomach, Flight. It hurts
I
me
gotta
to the
agree
core.
with you, man. I can't. It does
You know,
suck.
I'm happy for Jello. Yeah, Jello. I'm happy for Jello. Jello is everywhere. Jello was just in Las Vegas. Jello was in
You know, it sucks
Coachella.
to see Lonzo on the podcast, but not on the court.
Listen, Flight. Listen to what I'm telling you.
The-
LiAngelo Ball, G Honcho, was in Coachella. This is the Beyoncés of the world. This is the Drakes of the world. This is the Kendricks of the world. You understand what I'm trying to explain to you? This is the Nas of the world. This is the what's her name? What's that? What's Travis Kelce girlfriend name?
Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift's of the world. These are people that headline these things. Rihanna, ASAP Rocky, and so on. All the big names headline Coachella. Lil Wayne. This fool was in Coachella. He didn't tell nobody. He popped up and performed. It was nowhere on his social media that he was going to be in Coachella Flight. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, he popped up on the people.
Man, I mean, man, Jello's doing his thing, man. That's because those are really big events, you know. And it goes all the way through the weekend. Some of them last a week. So that's crazy. So Jello, salute, young man. Do your thing, do your thing.
Yeah, definitely. You know, there's a crazy game going on right now. You know, it's 60-43. Let's see who will prevail. Do you think Minnesota got a shot at coming back in this?
17 points. You got 30 minutes of basketball, about 31 minutes of basketball. Yeah. I mean, not 31 minutes, excuse me, 18. You got a little less than 18 minutes of basketball. It's gonna be tough, man. Down 25. That's tough. If they don't make
You're
a run
right.
in this third quarter, I think Coach Finch is going to probably start relaxing.
Yeah, Edwards, he missing. He got to
Hey,
play better
I don't
next
know.
game.
Maybe Vegas might have something to do with this, right? Who thought the
Something.
Knicks was going to win?
Yeah, look like you got to pull out some upsets, man. If you sensing an upset, it's more than likely going to happen. Should have been crazy. Look at the box score. It's a box score so far for the Warriors. I got 62-45. Draymond Barker, Nas Reed, they trying. Nas Reed with a big score. Now, who the hell is this? They got a guard in the game I ain't never heard of. Spencer. What the hell is he doing? He threw up some hook shot. Come on, Jimmy. Now, what Edwards gonna do? Well, Edwards finally scored it. Minnesota, they right in it. It's not over. You know, basketball is a game of runs. Here goes Kaminga. Jimmy, he got it, but he just caught it. Kaminga nearly lost the ball, but Jimmy scored it.
Yeah, got a lot of time left. Like you're only down 15. That's a lot of time there.
Uh,
14 minutes of basketball. I mean, 16 minutes of basketball. That's a lot of time.
Jimmy with it. Jimmy kicks it out. Spencer. Spencer just scored it. Big time play from Spencer, 66-51. 4:20 to go in the third. DiVincenzo from deep. That's off. Golden State in control of this game. Putting the moves on all the way to the cup. Edwards, 66-53. There we go. Here goes Jimmy. Jimmy kicks it out to Kaminga. And they called a foul on Alexander. He upset about that one. It is what it is. Crazy game right now, 66-53, 3:51 to go. Kaminga headed to the bench. It's a great basketball game for the people. There we go.
Golden State showing a lot of fight, man. They not just letting it go like that.
I see, not at all. I mean, he hit a three off the bank. Oh, damn. Jimmy just hit a three off the bank. No, that was foul. You know it's over. When dudes are making threes off the fucking backboard, the game is over. That was some crazy shit. Oh man, Golden State with it's over. It's over. This was a genius game. It's crazy. 72-53 Warriors got their foot on their neck. There's a wild game going on right now. Shout out to everybody in the chat. It's Flight Sports. $72-53. Jimmy going to the bench. Probably getting some rest before, that fourth quarter. They got Draymond still out there. My thing is, why Draymond don't play like, why Curry got to get hurt for Draymond to have a big offensive game? Nas missing threes too. They was hyping up Nas Reed like he was the second coming. And they got this dude Spence out here like he Hakeem Olajuwon. The way he throwing up these hooks. DiVincenzo. And DiVincenzo can't hit a damn thing. That's his shot too. He's supposed to make that. I don't know what's going on with him. $74-53. Big time game right now. Salute to all y'all in the chat. $74-53, 2:23 to go. It's a good game. Who would have thought that they would have came back like this, but they did. So give them major props. We're in the midst of a timeout right now. Golden State, man. No Steph Curry, man. I'm telling you, if you're a Wolves fan, if you're the Wolves, you can't be happy about this. Your season is hanging in the balance right now. It's over with. I truly believe that season is over. They gonna have to figure it out because it's gonna be hard to win in Golden State. It's not gonna be easy. Then you buying Curry some time and some rest. That's not gonna be good.
If the Minnesota Timberwolves get this game to single digits in the fourth quarter, we're going to be having a different conversation for the rest of the 12 minutes of regulation. But that don't look to be the case. In like your money so far looks safe.
Oh yeah, that's facts. That look guaranteed. $74-53. I wasn't anticipating a blowout, but never know with Minnesota. Home court advantage. And they said these teams never even played in the playoffs before. Give Draymond and these guys props. This shit is a complete blowout.